Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our latest podcast. Now, we have one of the most exciting tech companies on the ASX, on the boards. It has very established individuals involved, and they've just won a major contract. It's Atturra. The ticker is ATA on the ASX, and we've got the CEO, Stephen. Stephen, how are you?
Yeah, I'm very well, thanks, John. Yourself?
Mate, very good, and thanks for coming on board. Really appreciate it.
Not a problem, anytime.
Now, Steve, for those who are not familiar with Atturra, what do you guys do? Give us a quick overview.
Look, I'll keep it brief, but look, we're an advisory and IT solutions company, so we kind of work really closely with clients to kind of simplify, optimize, modernize, and then do the ongoing management in tech environments. So kind of at a core, it means we engage a business, we kind of assess their business processes, and then we go do the technology improvements to kind of give better outcomes. We do everything from building a single application to managing entire technology ecosystems. Everything from desktop through to your applications, through to your website and whatever. We do tend to focus. Look, we do work in every industry, but we have some real specializations in certain industries like education, local government, defence, federal utilities and natural resources. And in those industries, we build out specific solutions. So in education, we have a student management system, for example.
For the listeners that are not aware, your company's had a great track record growing by acquisition. Now, what is your process in making the right acquisition that's value accretive?
Yeah, so look, one thing I'll say about our history is so about half of our growth is from acquisitions and the other half is from organic growth. So we've got a really good track record of acquiring an organization. They're actually getting growth from that. So we're not just growing from acquisitions, it's about half and half. So what's our trick? That we are a little bit different when we do acquisitions. We don't tend to buy and seek big synergy savings. If I look through probably the last 9 acquisitions, we've probably got rid of a total of 9 people. To put that in perspective, we're very much about buying the company, keeping it together, investing in the sales, and pushing our processes in there to get maximum. I've never understood this concept of buying a company for a great culture, especially when they're small, than tearing it apart. So we are very big on picking companies that are built to last, not built to sell, and look very much at the founders and the management team to make sure we've got that cultural alignment that they want to stick around for the long term and grow. And if you look at our management team, we have lots of ex-founders in our management team, which reflects the success of that strategy of keeping the culture and teams together.
So, Steve, we're well aware that revenue is king when reoccurring revenue that is king when it comes to IT consulting firms. Can you speak to us to the percentages that Attura's reoccurring revenue is?
Yeah, absolutely. We've gone from actually about 0% 3 years ago to kind of 18% to now we're over 33% recurring revenue. We want to get that to 50% or slightly greater. And we'll do that through a mix of acquisitions and organic growth. We do like that recurring component, but we do like some of that non-recurring. The non-recurring tends to be slightly higher profit, but also means you're growing because you're going and doing those builds and those projects out. So, yeah, we're at 33. You'll see us get to 50 and then probably maintain that balance at 50 or slightly larger going forward.
Now, recently, you guys have made a acquisition, Kite Pipe, to expand in America. Speak to our audience more about that and how that'll make your business grow.
Yeah, it's a good question. Look, Pipe really kind of strategically expands our market leadership in boom integration services. So it really about increasing our reach and addressable market. Our broader vision remains clear. Become Australia's leading IT advisory and solution company. People go, well, you're expanding offshore. And I go, yeah, great companies do service offshore. Think of, US Accenture, think of Capgemini in France. So being Australia doesn't mean just servicing Australia. It means based out of Australia and delivering around the world. The Kite Pipe acquisition is a pretty modest investment, it's around $3.5 million US, and it's part of a controlled strategy we have to kind of take our expertise where we're the best in market, and we're clearly the best in market in Boomi, and expanding out carefully and cautiously. And we've done this incremental approach before with expansions into New Zealand, Singapore, and Hong Kong. And the US market was just the next natural step. It's got a massive addressable market. And so we've done a small bit into there to kind of grow that out.
Now, Steve, I believe you famously said data is the new oil. In light of that, how does Atturra as an organization or help organizations use data, particularly in this era of AI, to expand?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, my personal view is data is really increasingly becoming that primary source of competitive advantage for businesses. And especially with things like AI and machine learning going forward. For those who don't know, our heritage as a tour actually really is from data. And of our 1,000 plus staff, over 270 of them are actually dedicated data specialists in Australia. So we're engaged on a very frequent basis to create those data strategies, and they'll help clients on their journey, which includes AI, but includes other things as well. So, we typically go into a client, we actually try to understand why. It might sound a bit silly, but it is important from a basis of what are they trying to achieve. Then we get an audit of their data landscape, understand the quality, the sensitivity, the compliance requirements, there's personal identifying information, all that sort of stuff. And then we kind of formulate a targeted data strategy, putting around whatever technologies it may be, maybe data lakes, warehouses. There's some amazing technology like virtualization platforms like Denodo, which can kind of really accelerate these processes. And then we tend to conduct really small, almost pilot scale AI projects. We'll pick something like, let's say, for an organization, maybe about improving win rates or reducing customer turn, enhancing customer insights. And we use these small projects to build up data literacy in our clients. We're a very big believer, even though we obviously provide these services. For these projects to be successful, we need not only control the data landscape, but we actually need our clients to have that data literacy. And we actually emphasize transferring our skills into our clients and making sure they've got a level of that capability internally and building internal teams of AI. I think it's a mistake to outsource that to another organization. You should organizations like Atturra to enhance what you've got, but not to be everything you have.
So, what do shareholders of Atturra have to look forward to over the 6 to 12 months?
Yeah, look, so we've got a really kind of consistent growth rate, and I think you'll see us continuing to grow. Our client churn is near zero. We're very proud of that in the market. So, from a shareholder's point of view, what we've delivered over the last 5 years is a very predictable and consistent both top and bottom line growth. And I don't see that changing at all in the future.
Steve, Atturra is absolutely right. You're absolutely right when you call data is the new oil. And I think for all the audience out there, it's worth looking into this stock, a company that's grown very quickly, quite smartly in an era of AI. Steve, thanks again for your time.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, mate.